Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Shea, you wish to give an opening statement?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may proceed.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to see everyone this morning. You've heard a series and sequence of events that are extremely important for you to be listening to the details of what you have been given here today, how those details go to each and every element of the charges which have already been read to you. The homicide of Ms. Gunther on December 2005, the homicide of Julie Green on January of 2006, and Iwana Patton on February 24th, 2006. The point I'm making is this isn't just a general item. You have to listen to the evidence as it applies to each of these individual cases. Your attention is going to be very important to the details. It sounds, when you talk about DNA being located at different crime scenes, how did it get there? When did it get there? And how does it correlate with the actual charge that Mr. Hayes caused the death of Ms. Gunther, or caused the death of Ms. Green, or caused the death of Ms. Patton? There's more than just the presence of the DNA that will give you that answer. You need to listen to the evidence and make your own conclusions. And that's what we hear about as jurors. And part of that goes to the proving beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what this is all about. It's the proving each of the elements that caused the death of each of these ladies on these three different occasions. You heard about the other case that the state has talked to about in West Palm Beach. He's not on trial for that case. Obviously, you can listen to the facts on that case and support it. He is not on trial for that here. That's another jurisdiction. The case is pending down there. They will have whatever happens down there on that case with their evidence. So it's important, again, to know exactly what our job is here for the next couple of weeks. You're going to hear evidence on the defense side that's going to open your mind that there's other possible situations that could have caused the death of each of these ladies, particularly Ms. Green. Both where Ms. Green and Ms. Patton were back in those days really out in the country. And it took a toll on people to deliver, to be present at the crime scenes. You're going to hear that the state, particularly on the Green case, collected tire prints, produced a mold of those tire prints. And under separate surveillance, there was a vehicle that was recruiting prostitutes in Jacksonville and under in Daytona Beach. And the officers put that vehicle under surveillance. And that vehicle ended up out in DeLand, at a place called U-Poke. It's a car recycling operation out We intend to show you evidence that, particularly in Julie Green case, that she had a significant amount of tar or some type of greasy material, little pebbles and rocks that were on her feet when they found her body. You're going to hear evidence that the facility out at Green Pullet also was surrounded by greasy material. You'll have to reach your own conclusion as to was there any match determined between the police department, the grease on the bottom of her feet, and the ground conditions out at Green Pullet. Was there an investigation to determine if there was any match? That's one of the issues. Is there's no question an automobile was required and participated at the crime scene of the murder of Miss Green. You're going to also see at the Patton scene, that's another location which is near Ballard now, extremely close and out in the suburbs of Jacksonville. So I'm from Jacksonville, so I keep referring to it from West Palm Beach. The only way that Miss Patton could have gotten there is again by road. You're going to hear that there is no evidence that Mr. Hayes owned it, had access to it, or drove it during that period of time. And there's no information at all that has been provided by the sheriff's department correlating an automobile to Mr. Hayes. So however she was deposited out there, excuse the term, I don't mean that to be demeaning in any way, but however she arrived at that scene had to be in an automobile. I've made a lot of notes myself because I don't want to forget anything. And from time to time I'll be looking at notes. But me reading the notes and going over the information that is going to be given to you in the form of evidence is going to be given to you on the next several days. So I'm not going to go over all of that evidence, but certainly present how we follow the case. We have our own DNA expert as well. And we talk about the DNA. The various conditions that a professional, the DNA can let's say, have life of DNA. And the point I'm making, and the thing that I'm asking you to be looking at is there a correlation between the time that the DNA was deposited on each of these three ladies and the actual murder? You're going to hear the DNA has a life that could have been several days before they were found dead. So it's important to listen to the evidence of time and date and how and when the DNA was deposited through the systems. I'm not diminishing certainly their lives. Every life is valid. And I'm not giving any discredit to an occupation that these ladies had to, for some reason, be in for their own survival or whatever reason they had to be prostitutes. But the fact is that they did engage in that probation, and it could be an explanation as to how Mr. Hayes' DNA was involved with all three of his ladies. But again, it's the issue of listening and getting into that small detail. This case is going to be determined by the interpretation of the actual facts. And that is an extremely important facts to prove what is known as the element of premeditated first-degree murder. We talked about premeditated first-degree murder during the trial. And that's something also that you're going to have to listen to. What evidence is the state producing to show that at the time of the death, if it was even Mr. Hayes, was this premeditation? He'd have to be present at the crime scene in order to even come to some conclusion of premeditation. But you're going to hear the instructions from the court after the proceedings are closed and so forth as to the meaning of premeditation. But all of these take a mental evaluation that is from facts. It's truthful. And there's absolutely proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I guess the purpose of my opening statement is I know that each of you will be caring in listening to these facts. You see the broad picture, you might have reached one conclusion. The other part of that is that you should reach no conclusion until you actually hear the evidence of each of these homicides and how they could have occurred, how his DNA is present or not present. In any event, I don't really have much more to say. I thank all of you for your attention. The reason you were selected is because we felt you were really a very positive and intelligent group of people. We spent several days selecting you all, as you know, and we're going to respect your opinion on doing the right thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're going to take our recess at this time. I think a 15-minute recess, okay? We can go right back to the hearing.
Jerry, what do you say?
Yeah.
Attorney Tony, just watch your wires, please. There are 2 steps to the cabin.
Okay, we're in recess. Thank you.
That's what it's like with the other car. Is that one of the scenes? Saying that it was like they said it was the same reason. Is that like a junkyard or something?
Yeah, you can record it.
So, but I guess that's not